And now, from the November Coalition, our next speaker, please welcome Kari Boiter.
Hey everybody, how we doing? So it's awesome to be here in Portland. Big thanks to Paul Stanford and the crew here at Hemp Stalk for inviting me. A lot of people think up in the north, Washington is the leader in cannabis policy. And I'm here to tell you that it's all of you who are the trailblazers. What do you all have here that we don't have up there? Well, you just passed in your legislature a system for regulated and authorized safe access of quality medicine at good prices. What do you think about that? Up in Washington, where it's supposedly legal, we have people being prosecuted for as little as 15 plants. And our U.S. attorneys have vowed to come in and raid medical marijuana dispensaries. Not happening here. So also here in Oregon, what you guys have done that we can't manage to do up there is you passed medical marijuana for PTSD, for military veterans. That's huge. We have more active duty veterans up in Washington than almost anywhere in the country, and we can't even talk about a topic like that. You guys kick ass. And also, it's all of you who are going to be the next state that legalizes marijuana. Are you ready for that? So there's also something here in Oregon that we don't have in Washington. It's about 60 miles that way, and I really hope that none of you ever have to go there. It's a federal prison, and it's where a whole bunch of our medical marijuana growers are serving time for our plant. It's right in the middle of wine country, so all these people are out there enjoying vineyards. Tourists see all of Oregon there, and they don't notice the federal prison, where all sorts of Americans are locked up. These are people from Montana, California, Oregon, Arizona, Washington, Nevada, all places where medical marijuana is legal. And many of them were registered caregivers in their state. Some of them even had business licenses. But when you go to federal court, none of that matters. Your business license is proof that you conspired to commit marijuana distribution. And your utility bills are proof that you conspired to manufacture marijuana. And your business partners, well, their testimony is used to convict you in court. There's actually 4,000 informants working for the DEA right now. Do you all know your friends well around you? When you add in the informants working for the FBI, there's 20,000. 20,000 informants keeping this drug war alive. That's exactly what happened to Chris Williams. He's one of those growers over in FCI Sheridan. He's a good friend of mine. I'm one of the few people who has stood by him as he served his mandatory minimum prison sentence for providing medical marijuana to sick people. He and his business partners went to such great lengths to be in clear and unambiguous compliance with the state law that the New York Times featured video of Chris giving tours to the head narcotics officer for the state. And in fact, they were such a model for this community for safe access that his business partner has gone on to become the legislative analyst for MPP, teaching other states how to do what he did. And I was in the courtroom as Chris stood trial before a jury of his peers. I trembled, actually, as he was found guilty. And they read the verdict, one right after another. Guilty, 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 guilty. It wasn't until about 10 days later that they figured out the sentence that Chris would face for providing medical marijuana to sick people. It was 90 years, mandatory minimum, 9 decades in prison. This wasn't somebody trying to get rich quick, and he certainly wasn't an organizer of a large-scale drug trafficking ring, like the prosecutors said. He's a single father, a legitimate businessman, and he's now locked up, away from his family, serving time 60 miles away in a prison that most of you don't even know exists. And he's not alone. There are other caregivers, Jason Nelson, Rich Crusoe, my friend Dave, Bo, James, Rich, the list goes on. Here in America, land of the free, we cage more of our own citizens than all of Western Europe combined. There's no dictator, no world regime ever in history that has caged more people than we do here in America. in all of the Walmart stores in all of the world and you put them in one room, that's how many people we lock up in this country. So the next time that you protest about the wages of people working at Walmart, I want you to think about the wages of our federal prisoners. You know what they make? Not $5 an hour, $5 a month in federal prison working for our government. Most of them growing vegetables in the horticulture program. So don't buy into the bullshit that these politicians are feeding us. It's lies. If they want to actually get smart on crime and they want to slash the $83 billion that we spend on incarceration, they can start by releasing every single cannabis caregiver that's behind bars in this country. Change it too, so does the U.S. Sentencing Commission. Every single one of you can get in touch with these people. I was one of 14,000 people to submit public comment to the U.S. Sentencing Commission this year. And you know what they're doing? They're reducing every single non-violent drug offender sentence by 2 levels. That means some of them are going to get to come home early, and that's because 14,000 people wrote the Sentencing Commission and told them what to do. You can do that. You have the power. And you can also write our plant prisoners. I have some flyers. There's about a dozen plant prisoners on them with their addresses. Send a letter to these guys. You would not believe how much light your words can bring to a dark place. If you want to be an activist, of course, you got to get active. Next time you spark up that bowl and the creative juices get flowing, start thinking about the ways you can stop the war on drugs. And get up and do something about it. Nobody else is going to write a letter for you. Nobody else is going to pick up the phone. You have to do it. Thank you so much for your time. Please get active.
You want to hand the flyers out up here?
Thank you, sir. Kari Boiter.
Kari Boiter from the November Coalition.
Kari.
You understand where I'm coming from? Go hard for weed, right? Go door to door in your neighborhood like a weed Jehovah's Witness.